Let's talk about the top 10 risks to using influencer marketing, influencers to supersize and grow your business. Don't make these mistakes. I want to cover them. Usually we talk about why to use influencers to market and grow and build our brand and supersize our business. But we have to keep in mind that there's risks associated with any partnership, anything that we do, but there's things that we can do to mitigate that risk and make sure we don't make these mistakes. So I'm going to share the top 10 most common mistakes that businesses and brands make when hooking up with influencers to supersize and grow their business, so that you can make sure you don't make any of these. The first one, of course, the most common mistake people make is they lose money. They lose money, and it's all like the beginning of any good transaction. You make money when you buy, when you make a good decision, when you make a good choice. So if you pay too much, the price for product placement or presentation or showing up in someone's feed or working with an influencer needs to be taken into account. Lots of times people lose a lot of money up front because they don't do that. The second biggest mistake, the biggest risk, is fake follower count. Guess what? There are a lot of influencers online that have bought fake followers to make themselves look better so that they can charge more, leading to number one risk, losing money, by making it look like they have a bigger influence than they actually do, or that they have real followers when they actually don't. I mean, this happens to the tunes of millions and tens of millions of followers that are fake. Third biggest mistake, content is king. If you don't know what kind of content the influencer you're thinking about working with is posting and presenting, that is a huge mistake. Number one thing we do every time we want to do something or anything is do some research. We just do a little bit of research. 5 to 10 minutes going through the potential influencer's feed will show you if the content makes sense for your brand or not. The fourth thing is partnership agreements. Write it down. Most common thing that happens in influencer agreements is they put off and they put off and they put off and they postpone when they're going to actually post your content or share your products or services to their people, to their followers. And if it isn't documented, if it isn't in writing, if it isn't in a partnership agreement, guess what? You don't have anything you can do about it. You've given them the money. They can put it off as long as they want, unless you have all the details of your agreement in writing. Now, this applies to any type of partnership or supplier, vendor, etc., any relationship you have in your business. Even if you're dealing with family, get it in writing. Actually, especially if you're dealing with family, get it in writing. The next most common risk is too much sponsored content. Again, if you go through the feed, if you do your research, you can see, is this person sponsoring a ton of content and a disproportionate amount to the actual content that they're creating that appeals to their particular audience? The next one is, of course, lack of alignment. There's so many examples of this online. It's mind-boggling. You can just go online and you can find literally thousands of examples of things that just feel off. You know, you've got a religious site promoting a health and nutrition product. Really? Does that fit to the influencer and the brand? It can actually damage the influencer as well as the brand. So we have to be careful and make sure that we're picking influencers that have the content, make sense, sign partnership agreements, don't cost too much, etc. And then we want to look at organic versus natural promotion. Do we have to do a lot of advertising to the content that they create, or paid promotion to the content they create, or will it stand on its own and naturally show up and get us the results that we're looking for? Risk of platform, and there's a couple of errors that happen here. One is only staying on one platform and not testing others. And the other is being on too many all the time and using too many influencers and not knowing what's actually working and what's not. At some point, we want to get down to our 3 top platforms that the people we want to serve are on. And those are the ones we show up on and we test on a regular basis with different influencers, with different strategies, with different content, etc. And then finally, the 10th biggest mistake people make is not paying attention to the campaign's performance. So when you work with an influencer, are you measuring key performance indicators and knowing if it benefited your business or not? Because we can throw a whole lot of money and a whole lot of resources at things that give us zero results. That's the traditional way of marketing and advertising. We don't want to do that. That's why we're going and doing something different and using influencers. We want to make sure that they're winning, but that we're winning as well. So love to know your experience with influencer marketing. Have you done it? Have you run into any of these mistakes? Have you, and are you willing and brave enough to admit that you've made these mistakes? I've made some of these mistakes for my business and for other people's businesses as well. And it's hard to admit, but guess what? That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we avoid them in the future. And we put systems and processes in place to make sure that we don't make those mistakes in the future. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting strategy that you can use to supersize and grow your business right now. Have a great day.